Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the Yoruba people work in a methodical fashion. I think this is the one thing that we all know about the Yorubas. The Yoruba people work in a methodical fashion. They don't make too much noise, but they put the ducks in a row so that everything is aligned, and once it is then aligned, there's no reversing it. So an example of this, of course, is the formation of the Amotekun organization, the Amotekun Corporation. So now the situation in the land was so heightened with all these Fulani people marauding in Yoruba land that the necessity was there for this organization to evolve. So rather than make rash and crass statements, what the Yorubas then did was to come together as a region with all of the governors of that region meeting to then look at the situation and of course go to the obvious panacea that will assuage that situation, because of course what emerged out of that savaging, there was a heightened period that the Fulanis were just incessantly savaging Yoruba land. So what emerged out of that period, and that was the period, by the way, that Power Fashion's daughter was also killed. So what emerged out of all of that was the obvious necessity to have a region-based security structure. So you don't even need any thinking, and it was really the situation that evolved that solution, not really anybody's smart thinking. But then, of course, when the obvious solution was then evolving and emerging and presenting itself, what the Yoruba governors then did was to then meet and then come together and pull their assemblies together to put into legislature the formation of this Amotekun cooperation. So this is what I mean, and this is an example of the methodical way that the Yoruba do their things, the methodical ways that the Yorubas do their things. So to that end, guys, I bring you this. Oduduwa Republic, Afenifere backs Igboho, says only Buhari can stop Yoruba secession. So this is that methodical thing again. So the situation again has highlighted the fact now that the Yoruba continuous engagement with the Nigerian nation can be injurious, and is in fact injurious to the Yorubas being. It is an existential threat to the Yorubas. So the situation has brought its own solution again, which is of course a standalone Yoruba nation, and that standalone Yoruba nation now has been articulated now by this Sunday Igboho. So that is the first step, and then of course the stalwart organizations, the staid and respected and long-standing political organizations and social-cultural groups within Yoruba land are now aligning behind this understanding now as the first steps to the evolution and devolution, the evolution of the Yoruba nation and the devolution of the Yorubas from the Nigerian project. So this is the methodical things, the methodical ways that I was trying to describe. But then of course there's an additional stanza to that headline which says only Buhari can stop Yoruba secession. So now let's now see now how this now double dutch is explained. Afenifere Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization on Friday said it is not opposed to the calls for the actualization of Oduduwa Republic by activist Sunday Adeyemi, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. Chief Ayo Adebanjo, national leader of the organization, in a chat with correspondents, said the only thing that can stop Yorubas from pulling out of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is if President Muhammadu Buhari takes urgent steps to restructure the country and give the people an acceptable constitution. According to him, they are not opposed to Igboho because he is speaking the minds of the youths and masses of the country. He, however, said as elders, they have been appealing to the youths to hold on and see if President Buhari will listen to the voice of reason by restructuring the country. Our position is clear. That is the position of the extreme ones in Yoruba land. That is why we are warning Buhari to do restructuring now. If he doesn't do it, that is what is going to happen. The Yorubas will secede. We are trying to stop that, and that is why we are asking the president to restructure the country now. The clamor for restructuring is all over the country now. Those of us who are asking for restructuring now are the moderates. If not for the respect our people have for us, they would have stoned us because they believe we have been asking for restructuring over the years and nothing has come out of it. They are now saying enough is enough. But we are pleading with Buhari to save this nation from disintegration by restructuring and doing an acceptable constitution for us so that we can live in peace together. For Igboho and others who are asking for secession, that is the wish of the youths and masses of this country. It is people like us who are pacifying them by asking for restructuring. So our stand with them is that they should hold on, and Buhari will be helping us to calm them down by doing the right thing, because there is a limit to which we can stop them. Those who make peaceful change impossible make violent revolution inevitable. We are not opposed to their stand on secession, but we are asking them to hold on. If Buhari refuses, that will be the last resort, he said. So a tacit endorsement and a gambit as well in the direction of Buhari. So there's a lot said by the elder statesman, the Afenifere leader, and there is a lot to unpick. So what he is saying is that this clamor for Oduduwa nation is a bad child of necessity and is an offshoot of the present climate that the Yorubas find themselves at the moment, because the Yorubas find themselves suddenly in a position of helplessness because they are being weighed upon multifacetedly. They are being weighed upon from a myriad of angles. So the Fulani headsmen are marauding, of course, to the point actually that I saw a video clip recently of people in Ogun State escaping in the rural areas, that is, escaping as the Fulanis came charging through, burning their children, burning their houses, and savaging the whole place. Do you know where these people ended up? They ended up in Benin Republic. I wasn't aware that Ogun State shared the border with the Benin Republic. They ended up in Benin Republic to the point now that Yoruba people from Ogun State are now in refugee camps in Benin Republic. And why are they there? Because of Buhari's tribesmen, because of Buhari's clansmen from Niger Republic, etc. So this is what is going on. So now, why did they need to escape the marauding Fulani headsmen? They needed to escape because there was no protection for them. The security structures, of course, are not there to prevent the Fulani headsmen. The security structures are there to facilitate for the Fulani headsmen. And we have seen countless examples of this. We have seen images of helicopters that they are alleging are dropping weapons for these Fulani headsmen. We have seen a Fulani headsman come out in the public space over the last few weeks now to say they are being weaponized by the government. We have seen foreign people in Igbo land, French-speaking Fulani people in Igbo land and now in Yoruba land, trying to seize charge of the place with nobody stopping them. And even if you now, as a Yoruba person, try to stop yourself, the government will weigh upon you, probably take your life. So we're just overwhelmed. The economy is brutalizing, the atmosphere is intense, and the whole place is just a chaotic experience to the point now that the Yoruba life is a threat in Yoruba land. So this is what has birthed elements like Sunday Igboho and ideas like the Oduduwa Republic. So this the leader of the Afenifere, Pa Adebanjo, he's exactly right. It is the respect that Yoruba people have for their elders that is still making people listen to them, that are hold on, because he is also exactly right. They have been speaking this language of restructuring now pretty much for 20-30 years, and nobody has made any movement in that direction, even to acknowledge it. Never them are making moves to its actualization. But the need now for restructuring, at the very least, is now more paramount, has never been more clear within the Nigerian space than especially under this climate that we're in now, under this regime that we're under now. So this regime, if there's one thing to come out that is good, if there's one positive to come out of this criminal Malam Buhari regime, it is to highlight the fact that the fault lines within the Nigerian structure are so wide that is almost like a ravine. There's a chasm between the peoples of Nigeria, to the point that there is no possibility of the people converging into one. And this is highlighted by the Buhari regime, especially because of his bias and his bigotry along tribal, ethnic, and religious lines. So this now highlights everything that is wrong with Nigeria. It highlights the fact that the presidency is too powerful within the Nigerian space, and if that presidency falls into the hands of an evildoer like we have in this particular dispensation that we're under now, if that presidency falls into the hands of an element like Buhari, all of the abuses that are inherent within the powers that are vested on that of office are being demonstrated now. So we already see that we have a faulty governmental structure. We've seen the impotency of the Senate and the House of Assembly, etc., and the judiciary as well. So a lot of the organizations and structures that are meant to be in place to be a check to the presidency, to the executive, they are ineffectual and they're toothless. We've seen that because Ahmed Lawan, of course, the Senate president, is just a yes man. But Jabi Amila, he will make a lot of noise and blow a lot of grammar, but nothing really will come out of it. The judiciary are already bought and paid for. They are satellite arms of the executive, and there is no check at all to the powers of the executive. So if that power, as I said, is vested in the hands of an element, a bigot, and a jingoist and an extremist like Buhari, then what can happen is what is happening now within the Nigerian space. So restructuring and a complete abandonment of that 1999 constitution to completely rebuild the constitution and the governing structure of that country is the barest minimum. But is that bare minimum even too late now is the question, because the clamor for secession now is echoing right across the breadth of that country. So the Igbos, we already know they've had enough, and they have had enough for decades and decades now. The Yorubas now are now saying they have had enough too. So now the Middle Belt, of course, are saying they have had enough. So who exactly is vested in the Nigerian project? So effectively now, that country is being held together by force, and people are being held against their will, to the point that the Yorubas, by the way, have already declared that they have seceded from Nigeria, and they're already writing to international organizations like the United Nations. Like I said, the Yorubas, they do their things in a methodical way, and that is why things often work out for the Yorubas. So they've already started writing to organizations like the United Nations, the European Union, the African Union, etc., to say that, look, this amalgamation that was foisted by the British, one, it has run its natural legal life, and two, it is not fit for purpose, and more potently and above all else, it is not serving the interest of us as a people, us as a Yoruba people. So we're being held against our will is effectively the language now that the Yorubas are speaking to the international community, and they are following processes so that when they present their case internationally, it will be like a fait accompli, because they've offered them restructuring to have like a sub-autonomy within a greater structure, and the Malami, of course, has dismissed it out of hand because his own thinking is that he holds all the guns and he can just kill people if they agitate too much. But then, of course, it doesn't anticipate the power of the brain. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. The Yoruba leaders are now saying, hold on to Sunday Igboho, but we agree is the question. And they're putting the caveat that Buhari now has to make a move, especially in terms of restructuring, something that we know he would never do. This guy is just waiting to see out his tenure whilst they continue to loot the treasury and then hand over the pain to somebody else. But then will this guy even see out this year now is the question, never mind seeing it up to 2023, because the Nigeria space now, it only now needs one incident to spark a mass riot. You saw what happened at Lekki Toll Gate. It was the abuse, I think, of somebody, some guy in Edo State that sparked that then sparked and sparked and sparked to the point that then it blossomed and it engulfed in that NSAS experience that we had in October. So that was phase one, but there will be another incident. There will be another incident because, of course, these people, they never learn and they believe in violence and brutality. So there will be another incident still that will be another trigger point, and all of the learnings that the masses have learned from that experience in NSAS, they will use it then to weigh a more sophisticated resistance to the point then that ultimately there will be the breaking of the back of this administration, which is the most draconian and the most corrupt that Nigeria has ever experienced. I'm not quite sure any country, any African country has experienced things as bad as we're going through in Nigeria at the moment. And it has now reached that point where the Yoruba people are saying enough is enough. Otoge, as we say in Oyo Alaafin. So Otoge is the landing point of the Yorubas, but the elders are saying hold on, but what says you is the question. Come share thoughts with me in the comment section, but before you come into the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, the Yoruba elders are asking the Yoruba youth and the masses to hold on, but they are trying to pressure Malam Buhari to restructure, which we know he would not. So what happens next now is where the conversation is. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.